you served in the military. So tell us about why you chose the military. What led you to that?
Why I chose the military? I think usual as a story you hear quite a lot. A lot of kids, they want to be a soldier, don't they, when they grow up. I wanted to be a soldier and a fireman, and so I was a serving firefighter at the time I joined the military, and also a part-time scaffolder. I was doing that as well. And I was at work one day. I had enough of the scaffolding side of things. My relationship weren't going too well at the time, and as I said, I was a firefighter as well. And during my lunch break, I thought, sod this, and I just went in the recruitment office to join the parachute regiment. And unfortunately, the queue was too big, and I only had half-hour lunch break. And so I see a guy at the recruitment office, with a little at his desk, the Royal Air Force. And I wonder, what sort of roles are in that? And there was a how would you explain it? It's like the thing you see at the dentist, old leaflets, you can spin them around, you've got little cards. And so I sort of sat on in this queue, and I was reading this leaflet, and inside it said about the RAF Regiment being a parachute unit, an infantry unit, and you think Air Force, you don't think soldiering, do you? And it's an ongoing joke amongst the military now. Anyway, they don't like us much, but we know what we do, so we're happy with that. So yeah, I signed on the line pretty much in my lunch break, because I had about 20 minutes left at this point. So yeah, I went back to work, mate. Yeah, and 6 months later, quite a quick fix I got out of it. Really, generally you wait up to a year, as you well know. Yeah, within 6 months I was in training. So best move I ever made in many ways. Sadly, some of it is the result of what brought me to Tom Harrison House and Addiction. Not entirely because of that. A lot of other things happened in life during, after. But yeah, that's my story of how I joined up, mate. Yeah.
Can you share some stories of your service, if you feel comfortable, like what tours you went on, what?
Yeah, I was very lucky in many ways, because initially I wanted to join the forces. I'm from London. I joined the forces. I wanted to get out of London to go and do a bit of travelling and stuff. And so when I eventually passed out of training, as like most infantry or most any unit, you can get posted anywhere in the country. And being the RAF, they've got some pretty far-flung places. I want my chances of getting somewhere really, far away can be pretty good here. But I made it 21 miles across London to RAF Uxbridge, which is and I was devastated after that, because I got top recruit, and generally when top recruit, you meant to get a posting of your choice or nearest to what you wanted. But no, I got the Queen's Colour Squadron, which is it's quite a unique squadron as far as any military units go, because we are an infantry squadron, we're a ground fighting unit, but we're also a ceremonial squadron. And they do like Royal Guard, Buckingham Palace, Tower of London, Windsor Castle, and serving and performing military tattoos around the world. And so one week you could find yourself in Senny Bridge, playing, getting shot at and whatnot, and just going through our normal drills. And a week later you could find yourself surrounded by 30,000 people at a stadium in Canada, all staring at you, but carrying out what you call continuity drills. So it's worth a little look on YouTube sometime. You get 5 minutes. It's now called the King's Colour Squadron, obviously, because Her Majesty died. But yeah, so it was literally one of the best accidents that ever happened to me, because I got to basically just go around the world, travel free. Some lovely hotels. Yes, it is true. The RAF do get lovely hotels. But yeah, it was great. 22 countries I've done with them, and I don't regret a minute of it, really. There's a few incidents, obviously, along the way on operational tours that I wish never happened, but I don't think there's anyone that's gone on operational tours that sort of loved every single minute of it. It's good times, bad times, and sad times, isn't it? So, yeah, it is. I'm glad I've done it. Yes, would I do it again? No. A lot of things about that changed me as a person massively. It changes a lot of people. I'm not alone in that. It changes things in your life that you thought were going swimmingly well. You thought you was mentally sound, you was on top of the world, and all of a sudden you come away from that, especially when you leave, and you go, hang on a minute, maybe what's going on here, and you start questioning yourself. And my biggest thing when I left was I was missing the lads first. I was missing that camaraderie of what that banter you can. And there's a common saying, gets thrown around a lot, but it can, in my eyes, can get thrown around as much as it likes. You cannot have banter anywhere else like you can in Civvy Street, wherever, in any other job, like you can in the forces. And I missed that so much initially as well, and I found myself dwelling on a lot of things as well. I dwell on this, what happened on tour, well, you know, this losing friends. Some reason it become more of a problem after I left than it did when I was in it. And maybe that's because I was out of that loop and I had more time to think about things, to think, bloody hell, did that really happen to me?
So this meant the bad times, the sad times of being on operational tour.
Yeah.
Was there any support within the RAF did you feel comfortable speaking out, or was there someone available to talk to process what happens?
To be honest with you, as I recall that there was, and I did kind of get some generic help, like we all went through certain sort of courses, sort of, not courses, we had like one day sort of someone come around, you know, it's okay to talk out sort of thing. But I think, did they give everything they could have done to it? No, but they done some things. So I know a lot of sort of military sort of hierarchy do get a bad press, but there was some elements there that I can recall that I did use, in fact, that did reach out a bit. But did it reach out enough in hindsight? Now I know, no, they didn't. But then in my case, everyone's different. In my case, my problems seemed to manifest after I left, and with that, obviously, I did eventually seek out help for it. Yeah, I think because it is a post-traumatic stress disorder, post the trauma, so it's after, and you know, can they foresee that coming? I couldn't foresee it coming. You know, no one knew it. This was all new stuff, sort of thing. You know, so
just out of interest, when did you serve?
I've done 2 tours of Iraq, 2 tours of Afghanistan, Talik 1, Talik 7, I think it was, and 2 tours of Afghan, 5 and 8, and that was on a more so Kabul based in Afghanistan. So but there was other ops going on we had to go out with, and there's a certain op we was doing that, which it was great. It was more one of the lucky ones in Afghanistan, really. I'd love to say we was all running around bombs and bullets all the time. No, to be honest, it wasn't. There was some things going on, sort of kinetic, but not as much as some of the lads went for over there. So I'd love to spin a few war stories and say, yeah, but you know what? No. Iraq was a lot more dodgier, you know, as 99.9% of people went to Iraq, especially, we were getting mortared, roadside bombs all the time, missile attack, you name it, we got it all. And that's really, I think, after leaving, that's really I think what's probably put me down the road of addiction. I think it did, sort of thing. I tried to drink the way out and let my mates around, and when you get drink, you get depressed, and when you get depressed, you drink some more, then you have bad thoughts, and then I end up suicidal over it all. And I was just in this washing machine of badness.
You mentioned addiction. Looking back, can you pinpoint a time when you actually thought, hold on a minute, I've got a problem here?
Yeah, so I knew I had a problem. It's quite funny because I knew I had a problem. What's 2009? About 2012, I wrote a letter or an email to Combat Stress at that point, and sadly I didn't get a reply because I'm pretty much telling them what I'm just telling you now, and I got no reply from it all. But then things got better in life. You know, maybe I was on a bad few weeks. Things got better. I didn't. But my unknown medicine to me, when it get me through my darkest days and blah blah. When I say darkest days, my darkest days at that point might have just been like me being late for work or something like that. But I was so militarized in my head, I couldn't accept anything outside of outside of the military. My head wasn't working straight, and I was thinking this ain't normal. Anyway, my head would work straight if I was drunk, and I'll be happy. I mean, I'll be in a happy place there. I didn't have to worry about nothing because, you know, that's what alcohol does. You know, obviously my addiction was alcohol. Sorry, I should mention that. And my tolerance to alcohol was ridiculous. It would start off generally after work with 3 or 4 beers. Get home, a few cans more, and this started escalating and escalating. I was in construction for quite a while. And the usual thing, lads in the van after work, you know, get in the van. I'd have straight in the van. I'd be like, straight to the office. Let's go to the office straight away. A few cans in the van to get me to the pub. When I got in the pub, my 3 or 4 pints went to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pints, and I could still get out walking a perfectly straight line. Not a bother on me. You'd be shocked to see the amount I could drink without you being knowledge, which I'm not proud of. I'm not saying that's a great thing to tell you. And then it got to the point that turned into 2 or 3 bottles of wine after I got home as well. So you imagine what I was doing to my body, to my mental health. All went rapidly downhill to a point where I was at work one day. If I go back before that, I always said to myself, like, I'm not an alcoholic, because I don't get up in the morning like, I want to drink. I don't get up and want to drink. It's not me. I'll go to work. That's what I do. I'm not an alcoholic. I just like a beer. Really and truly, that was a load of bollocks. I was at work one day. It was about 10:30, and I was clucking for a drink. And I thought, I can't do this. I just got this because I was at this point. I ran alongside this. I was arguing a lot with my partner about my alcohol consumption. My ex-partner was restricting me to see my children, sort of thing. I wasn't turning up on time to see them all because I'd be hungover from the night before. It was all my bad. In all honesty, it was. I can't blame everyone else. You can blame everyone else when you're drunk. It's all their fault. But when you sober up and look at it in the cold light of day and ask yourself some honest questions, and the best thing, if you're asking someone these questions, you need honest answers. And I had to sit there and think, right, and this is my undoing. So to go back to what I said, so one day I was at work, 10:30, 11:15, something like that, and I was like, I need a drink.
And how long after you'd left the forces did this manifest?
So after I left the forces, I mean, as you know, I know, and 99, I almost say 100% of the forces, if you're not drinking all the bloody time, you know people that are. And it's a massive drinking culture in that. Is that a good thing? Yeah, it's a good thing if you can have 2 or 3 beers and go home and carry on with life. But with me, I have to take it to extremes every time. I don't mean I'm an extreme kind of person, but I just, a few beers more. I always want to laugh all the time. Let's have a good laugh, lads. Come on, let's get a few more beers down. This pub shuts at 11. Let's go to another one. It's open till like 1 in the morning. I was a club around the corner. I was a club 10 miles away. I want to go to it. I never wanted the party to end. And it wasn't just the alcohol with it, it was the social aspect of it as well. I loved having a laugh with the lads, there was nothing better, life was flying in life, here I'm a 20-something, just getting lollied every day, going around, there's lovely women around them, young and fit, the clubs always don't go where you want, and I could do that, drink till 4 or 5 in the morning, get up and go on a 20-mile run a couple of hours later. And then obviously that's going to come to a detriment to someone at some point. So when I left the force and I got more responsibility, i.e. paying my own bills, paying my own rent, paying my own council tax, the rest of it, obviously now something's going to give it. I'm not a millionaire. And my addiction to alcohol is still there. And that was my priority. Everyone else took a back seat to that, everything. Paying the rent, paying the gas bill, paying the electric bill. Apart from food and clothing for the children, I'd say. But anything else other than that, it was, well, I can't pay this because I've got to drink for a week. It's like, to me, that was perfectly normal. Perfectly normal to say that, well, I don't want to, go and pay a £300 gas bill. Well, I can spend that on a piss for the week, don't they know I drink? That's the mentality you're in. It's like, it's ridiculous. And I just carried on as it were, and then eventually, like I said, I got to work one day, and that was I don't know if it's a normal thing or had anyone that suffers from addiction thought that way, but I knew my time. And I was there and I went, no, I can't do this no more. So I drove down to my local like drug and alcohol sort of service, if you like, and I went to walk up to the door, I absolutely bottled it. I thought, no, stop that, a load of people in there. What if someone I know sees me going in there and all that sort of thing? And
who is your local drug and alcohol?
So they're called Oasis. They're one recovery bucks, and they're absolutely like, I can't. How can I explain it? This whole recovery thing? There's a lot of cogs in the wheel that get you to where I am now. I'm a really happy person, like living a sober life. Life's good, and there's a lot of cogs in the wheel that get you there. They were the first cog on the wheel, and there's a guy there, Peter Casey, especially to him. He was my caseworker, Casey. He bent over backwards to help me, and then some more. And I got refused funding for rehabilitation because that's what he said I needed. And he fought my corner more and more and more. He eventually got me funding, so then brought me to the great place that we know, Tom Harrison House. And again, and they worked their magic there. Yeah, I mean, just to.
So did your local drug and alcohol service know about Tom Harrison House?
Yeah, so they didn't have no idea about Tom Harrison House whatsoever. I was bizarrely, and despite the amount of people that used their service. I was the first ex-military that I dealt with, so they didn't really know how to deal with me. Which was that a problem at that point? No, not really. They bent over backwards to find out what was going on with me. They literally sort of moved the goalpost to suit me, which I didn't think I'd ever get, you know. But I didn't want to go in there going, poor me, I'm ex-military, you know. I'm not that kind of person. It's just it's only when my partner started explaining some stuff to them, because she was in contact with them. And then they sort of really sort of moved things around and trying to. They were looking at different rehabilitation things, but also then there were some mental health issues going on as well. And as we know, Tom Harrison House is the only military specific, you know, rehabilitation center that deals with trauma and obviously addiction. And so they eventually found this place and sort of said to me, like, how do you feel about this place? And to be fair, I would have gone anywhere at that point. I was in such a sort of rut with alcohol, and I knew I was, and all, you know, you can glamorise alcohol, and you think sitting around a pub having a laugh. Oh, them days are going, they were gone. It's now come to the case where it was getting lonely drinking. It was just my body was just, I didn't want it because I wanted it for the social aspects anymore. I wanted, my body was saying I want alcohol, and the word they use, the word powerless in addiction a lot. I know I was powerless over it. I tried to stop myself when I couldn't. So that day, you know, I keep going back to that day. When I couldn't go in there. I went home and said to Mrs. and I woke to the front door and I just said, please help me. And then she she said, she's been waiting for this for a long time, waiting for this to happen. And so she got in touch with them and went down there. And and I had to put a lot of work in. That's the thing with this addiction malarkey. You got to get your ass in the seat to fix it. You can't. I worked that out pretty well. I had this sort of like glamorization in my mind of chilling out in a nice sort of really posh place, reading books all day. You know, I wouldn't quite say getting fed with grapes and but I didn't realise how much work you have to put in with it. And I think if anyone, especially watching this, don't let that scare them off, because the work is interesting. The work is going to keep you busy, and the beauty of it is while you're busy, you're inadvertently not taking your chosen substance. In my case, alcohol. But
just out of interest, did you have to detox before?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'd done a 10-day detox. Again, I'm quite lucky. Around the corner from Tom. I would say round the corner in the Wirral, which is the grand scale of things. It's around the corner. Yeah, but
I know. So maybe you can explain the difference between detox and a residential rehab, because I'm very aware, and I've met people that are like, I've done a 10-day detox, I'm cured. Yeah. For me personally, detox is about detoxing the body.
Yep.
Rehab is about detoxing the mind.
That's it. Yeah, it is. And but I mean, from what I know now, from what I knew at that point, I probably had a bit of a different attitude. To me, going into detox, I just had this planning picture in my head again of like, well, let's just start a rehab sort of thing, you know. It's all going to be sort of, you know, bed of roses and, you know, just chill out and whatever. And even with detox, yes, it is pretty much you could almost call it a hospital, really. They don't look like hospitals, so anyone that's going to go there don't run for the hills. They're homely, welcoming, the staff are excellent. But yeah, it is about just making sure that your body can slowly withdraw from that chosen substance that you choose to consume, maybe more than one. But again, mine was alcohol. So there was medication that they gave me to counteract any sort of ill effects that withdrawing from alcohol would give me. And it was a slow path. It was, I mean, is it nice? No, I mean, nice is a holiday in Mallorca, isn't it? But nice ain't. But you know what? It was eye-opening. It was the best thing about it. It was a good stepping stone for going into rehab, because you get that little taste of being away from home again. For those that are not used to being away from home, and you think, okay, that's only when you get to rehab, then you look back on detox and go, think how different they are. They really are. Rehab's intense. Detox isn't. Detox, they're not pushing you all day. It's more about a medical aspect, making sure you're not going to, they have doctors on site, they have nurses there. You go into rehab, the whole thing's different. By this time, you're ready to sort of like, you've got the substance out of your body, but obviously in rehab now they're going to sort of try. Their more job is now to keep it out, and to do that, you've got to turn up. You know, there's no magic pill. You know, there's no magic injection. You're not going to leave the rehab and go, hey, don't do this no more. You've still got to work at it, but the level of work you've got to do to abstain, previously it might have been up there. Now it's a lot lower. You know what to do. Every time, do I still want to drink now and again? Of course I do. I'm, you know, cool, I do. You know, I sit there thinking, a lovely day today. We'd love it say it with a beer, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And but no, I just tell myself no, because I know where it'll take me, and I know, and it's not just about me. It's the people. You know, it's like throwing a stone in a puddle. It creates ripples, and people have suffered because of my choices. You know, so we won't be able to go on that nice holiday. We won't have a nicer car. The list is endless around it all. So I'm not just responsible for me. I'm responsible for others as well, and the people that believed in me, that I'd beat my addiction. They're owed that back. This place, Shy Lowen's owed it back. Tom Harrison House has owed it back. Everyone is, and that's not a burden. That's what's a smile on my face. You know, because I've got responsibility to them people that were there for me, and you know, and I'm there. You know, their hard work. They can see this. You know. Yeah.
So you mentioned about Shy Lowen, where we are now.
Yep.
Now Shy Lowen put on the equine therapy that us, when we were clients at THH, attend. So tell us about your experience of Shy Lowen as a whole and the equine therapy. Was it beneficial? What did you find hard, if anything?
Right. So Shy Lowen, I had friends start at the beginning with it. When I went to rehab, they give you a weekly program. Shy Lowen is part of that program from a Wednesday morning, if I recall right. So you do Wednesday morning 9 till sort of lunchtime. I looked at that on the program and I wanted to run by the hills. I don't like horses. Don't want to go near horses. What the hell is a horse going to do to stop me putting a pint in there? That's not, what can it? That's the questions I was asking myself. I was like, why is that going to stop me drinking? I sit there, you know, brushing an horse. And I kind of took a shine to a particular horse and did a bit of character about it and stuff. And I don't know what happened. It was really strange because all of a sudden, like it's you kind of pick up this responsibility, even though it's not my horse. You pick up this responsibility that this animal there. I mean, obviously they get cared for fantastically here, but why between Wednesday at 9 a.m. and 12 a.m. he's my horse and he's my responsibility. And the horses are so placid, and they're just they create this thing you can't touch it, grab it, feel it. You know, it's just there, and within that, over a period of time, obviously sort of 12 weeks or the time I was there, so I built up this definitely an affection for a horse, and there's me who wouldn't go near a horse and the rest of it all, and and something within that affection it's like soothing inadvertently to the brain almost, and you do. It changes you as a person. It does. So I can see why, 100%, why they equine therapy's done, especially, you know, for not just the addiction side of things, but for, you know, the mental health issues as well. Because it's part of this whole magnificent package that Tom Harrison House put together. And looking back now, I'm so glad that was part of it. Because I mean, if the guy didn't like a horse here, I'm volunteering to come up here, and you know, I'm going around patting every horse. I can even walk behind them now without wincing. But yeah, they were paramount to it, and I hope that everyone else who comes through this place is able to continue to do what and be lucky enough as what I was. Because what they do is it's nothing short of amazing. It really is. They're on literally peanuts, with a hand to mouth, week to week, and obviously you can't see them on the cameras now, but the horses around here, I mean, they couldn't be happier. You know, they could, you know, they wouldn't. In fact, they wouldn't be here. And it's important. It's important work they do, not just for veterans. They do so much more in the community. You know, there's kids that use this, there's families that use this place. Like anything, like I said, they haven't got much money. I think they're quite good at, you know, trying to look in the right places and prod in the right places to try and get some more. And it's very hard for people, you know, to want to contribute money in sort of, you know, they call it a cost of living crisis at the moment. So you can it doesn't make it any easier for them, but somehow they get by, you know, just each week, you know. But yeah, it's quite the place. Like, yeah, so it's going to hold a place in my heart for life, you know. And I'll see a lot more of this place. Unfortunately, I live quite a way away, 4-hour drive to get here. But I think the fact that I'm willing to do that is testament to what they do here. What they do is important, you know. If I can put like a very, very small percentage into helping them because they help me, then yeah, I'll keep doing that.
Obviously, giving back to Shy Lowen sounds like it's a big thing for you.
Yeah.
Do you think giving back is part of recovery?
Yeah, I don't know why it took so long to sort of reply to that. It's certainly a massive part of it. It is a massive, massive part of it. And the thing is, giving back from recovery is that, which I found a lot of as well, is like people are like, well, you don't need to give back. You give back to yourself. But I think you do have to give back, you know, especially, I mean, some places, more so going to the rehab kind of place, yes, you can still do bits, but then there's limits to what you can give back to them. So, but places like Shy Lowen, they need you. They need every volunteer they can get. If it's for an hour, half an hour, a day, a week, they need to give them. So that's where this is. It's not just, do I think it's the right thing to do. It's the only thing to do. You have to help them out. Just look around. You can see the place needs a lot of repairs. It needs a lot of equipment. It needs, you know, it needs all these things. And thankfully, being a builder by trade, amongst other things I've done, I've got the skills to help contribute towards that. But it doesn't matter if you haven't. You know, stuff needs moving around and stuff. Yeah, so giving back, do I get a sense of pleasure out of it? Of course I do. But it's not something that, you know, I'm going to go shouting from the rooftops about, because they didn't shout from the rooftops about me being an addict. You know, so they're very humble guys that run this place, and they'll take all the help they can get. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's giving back. Yeah, it's the right thing to do. Yeah.
So anyone struggling with addiction,
yep,
what advice have you got for them?
The hardest thing, I think, is making that choice to stop. Making that choice, because by making that choice to stop, you're immediately telling yourself you can't have something that you want. I want this, and you're saying to yourself you're not having it. It's all well and good someone else saying you're not having it. When you're saying yourself you're not having it, that's the hardest decision to make. Internally, isn't it? It's you know, it's not like you've got some authority taking that away from you. You can, you know, we're all grown ups. We can choose what we want to do in life. And when you're telling yourself you can't have it, your body's craving it, that's where you've got to show some strength inside and go like, no, it just has got to stop. Because we all know where it takes us, you know. If you've ever met a happy drug addict, you know, that one way or another, your life's going to go downhill. And I think when you do reach out for help, get your arse in the seat. Let's roll your sleeves up. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy at all. And you know, a lot of people that are in addiction have been in addiction for a long time, and to undo that in such a short amount of time, you know, it's you're going to ask yourself a lot of questions. In rehab, it's like days, I want to get out of it, I want to go. But you really just got to stick with it, and you know, and sometimes, you know, obviously, I was gagging for a pint. I think I'd murder a beer. Take it by the hour. I'm not going to have a beer for this hour, and then halfway through that hour, you've forgotten about it. You know, and then 2 hours later, you might think about it. You know what? This hour, I'm not going to have a beer. And an hour later, you might still be thinking about it. So let's give it another hour. You know, and slowly that does start to wane. It does start to wane, and to a point where you're not gagging for it anymore. You're just thinking about it. Sort of, oh, yeah, like now, like I said, you know, in the sun. And it does wane, and eventually it comes to a point where you can choose that, you know, I can walk past the pub when I want to walk, and not think I've got to go. And I can walk like an off license, think, you know, I've got another 5 year. I can do that quite happily now. But yeah, I do think about it still. You know, like I said, I do think about it, you know. But it's, you know, just play the game with it. Listen to what's being said to you by people that want to help you. Really take it on board.
So what does recovery feel like to you, and what's your hopes for the future?
What does recovery feel like? It feels,
or should I say, what does life in recovery feel like?
Yeah, it's remarkable, really, what happened to you when, like I said, my addiction was alcohol. When I stopped doing that, the things changed immediately, literally from day one. Now, everyone hasn't got this story, I know, but for me personally, asking me the question. So, but for me, it changed from day one. My friendship networks got a lot more honest, a lot more open. The family got a lot closer too.
Got a friend come to join us.
Hello. And
Equality.
yeah, the financial, the money I was spending on alcohol. I mean, bearing in mind some months or I was averaging about £100 a day on alcohol, and obviously good amounts on that sort of thing. That's adding up to a lot of money. What's that? 2,800 quid. You know, it's a lot of money, and I don't know what else more. There's just so much. I've got a nicer car. We can book an holiday. I can go out to places and drive. I can drive. I've got to pay £20 to get a cab somewhere, and £40 back because it's, you know, I can still go out. I can remember things. I've been playing guitar for the last 30-odd years, 20-odd years. I've always had to read it off a mood because I was too pissed to remember the notes. Now I can just sit there and play it along. Like I said before, I do a bit of acting, and get back fully in that and remember all my lines as well. Not sort of stand up all night, remembering when I'm pissed and wakes up in the morning going, what was that about? Yeah, just life's just so much better, you know. It's so worth doing. Honestly, it's like it's a gift, like life. Again, you get second bite of the cherry of it all, like, and I'm taking it like, yeah, big time by the horns. Great.
Happy days. Thanks for that, mate. I'll let you get off now.
Magic. Nice one, buddy.
Cheers for that, brother.